Okay, so I just wanted to share a quick, story time, I guess, that I got from today. But this is just a quick disclaimer. I wasn't intentionally bullying any kids. Nothing happened. I wasn't being mean to them. Like I said in the story, they're just being really afraid of me for some reason. Like, from the beginning, for some reason, they're just like, oh my gosh, it's a tall black dude. So, yeah, that's really all it is. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm gonna shut up now. Well, shut up, and then keep talking from yesterday. Alright, so this is a story that I got from myself about, an hour ago? Yeah. Yeah, see, I talked to an alternate dimension of version of myself. It was pretty great. But, yeah, so, creative writing. Oh my gosh. Today, in my class, let's just I'm just gonna start off from the beginning, okay? So in my creative writing class, we had to write poems and present them to the entire class. Not gonna say mine was fire, but I wasn't at least that one edgy kid who walked up and was like, "Okay, guys, so this one's gonna be a little bit deeper for all of you. You guys might not be used to it." And no joke, he said that, okay? And this was right after I'd said mine, which was 2 pages long, and I was kind of proud of, but I kind of knew it was also cringy and wasn't that deep. So yeah, and let me tell you, his was literally down, 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 deep down, down, deep down the stairs I go, down, deep down, tumbling, dropping, down deep among the faces, deep down, down deep, deep down the stairs. I'm falling deep down, falling deep down the stairs. Like, no joke. I just said it word for word. Like, literally, no, like, literally. Okay? You're like, oh, like, nah, you're just making him sound dumb. That was literally all he said for, like, a full page. Okay? Like, this man did not have a creative bone in his body, and if it did, it was definitely broken in that staircase. Okay? So anyways, of course before this I get up to present mine. It was absolutely fire. Trying to breathe through a mask into a really crappy microphone is always super great, especially when you have a very fluctuating voice like I do that you really just can't stay one level. So anyways, yeah, then we get that guy. One girl forgets to print hers out, another girl doesn't have hers, and then one other girl has a mental breakdown halfway through. Now just remember that, okay? Now this girl, I'm pretty sure, has like really bad stress because she's had panic attacks in class before, and I kind of feel bad about it. But yeah, well, I mean, you'll see later in the story why I don't actually, or not as much as I make it sound. So anyways, continuing. So our teacher, I almost said his name. I'm not gonna say names. I promise. I'm not gonna call anybody out. Freaking Justin Timber. Yeah, I'm just kidding. That's genuinely not a name. Please don't Google search Justin Timber. I have no affiliation with Justin Timber. Anyways, so yeah, our teacher, is like, okay, he's a pretty cool guy, and he's like, we're gonna have a quiz show, okay? And this is the one thing that I'm good at, is answering questions while making other people feel dumb, okay? This is why I want to be a freaking lawyer. I mean, making people look dumb and getting paid for it, just mwah, beautiful. I mean, like, come on. If you could get paid $15K to stand up in front of a room full of people and say, you know what, that guy is a real dumb butt, and get again, like, nobody can say you're mean, boom. So anyways, we get up, and our teams are we divide into like the 9th graders and 1 8th grader, and then the rest of the class. And this is 7th, 8th, and 9th graders, okay? So it's a pretty big class. So we have 4 people on our team. My group, there's this girl who I usually do like group projects with, just because we're like the smartest ones in the class. Not capping, we literally make up half the class's answers. She's like that kind of annoying one who simps for the teacher, and I'm just that one who'll randomly blurt out answers in the middle of class just because I can. So yeah, together we are probably our teacher's favorite students. And then we have one of my old friends whose name I can't remember, and it doesn't matter because I don't say any names on this. So, anyways, and she's pretty nice. She's pretty darn smart. She's like slightly above average. I don't think she watches my YouTube channel, but if she does, don't worry. I'm slightly below average, so we're about even. And then we have this 8th grader who's just like there and has no idea what's going on. Okay. So, anyways, so we're standing there, and we have to name our teams, okay? And ours were the Stinky Dinkies, because why the heck not? And of course, the 7th graders and 8th graders were like, oh my gosh, we're gonna be Savvy Squad, wow! And I mean, come on, who are you gonna vote for? The Stinky Dinkies? Pretty fire name. And like, come on, Stinky Dinkies is almost on par with, like, you know, The Rocket Johnson. Like, come on. I mean, come on, that's like the greatest name of all time. So our teacher gives us a point immediately because we actually have a name that's like original and not the Savvy Squad. Dab dab XD Omega roll, bro. It's so funny. TikTok. So yeah. Anyways, and I act like 7th graders are terrible, even though I was one myself. Like, come on, we've all been there. Yeah. So anyways. So we pull up, you know, and the first person who goes is like the really smart girl, and she immediately gets us to the point. You know, she just recites like the entire dictionary, like Google definition of the question he was asking, which I'm pretty sure she did do one time, and it was kind of funny to watch. So, anyways, yeah. And then my like above average friend goes out, and she like makes everybody laugh because she's kind of funny. She's funnier than I am, at least, and if you're funnier than I am, then you are pretty darn funny. So, anyways, she goes out there, and she gets us another point, so it's like, you know, 2-0, and then I go up there, and our teacher asks the question, and I have to think, I'm thinking that we have to wait till the question ends, okay? So I'm sitting there, waiting for him to finish talking, and this freaking 7th grader girl just walks up and smacks the freaking bell, and I'm like, yo, what the crap? And she was like, I know the answer, Mr. Professor. And he was like, okay, go. I'm like, I thought we had to wait till you were done talking. So anyways, I lose us our first point, and I'm feeling pretty bad. So then the 9th grader goes up, and or like the 8th grader who was just kind of inducted into our squad, and he just gets us another point. It was like kind of mediocre. They both answered, and it was like both wrongs. And he came back and talked to us, and we gave him the answer, and he went back up, and it was like, look at this, I'm so smart. The answer is pie. And Mr. Teacher was like, yeah, okay, whatever. So yeah, so then we cycle through again. Smart girl again, you know, recites the entire English lexicon rearranged into a format that would best suit the situation. Sub-average, or like, sorry, above average girl goes up and gets us, you know, another point. So I'm up there and I'm like, you know what? You freaking 7th graders are going down. Okay, you may have made me lose the first time, but trust me, I am a 6'1" black man, and I'm gonna utilize that. So I freaking walk up there, and again, I am a 6'1" black man, and every Friday I wear all white. Okay, like all white, just cause I mean it looks fresh, you know, wearing white and black, like yeah. So anyways, and if you don't know me, my hair sticks up in a spiked afro. It's like way up. So, I mean, you can see my huge forehead, but that doesn't matter. So I walk up there and I go stiff. I go rigid, okay? Cuz like there's this like 4'2", like little 7th grade girl there, and I just stare her down. Like there is no way that she didn't cry. There's no way that she's not going home traumatized, okay? So, and we have to have our hands behind our backs for this game. So I do the old general behind the back, stiff-armed, like, you know, thing. And I extend to my fullest height, and with my hair added, I look to be about 5'5" or 6'5", okay? So here's this, like, 4'1" little 7th grader, and I'm just standing here like, you know, some Mike Tyson. I don't know any wrestlers, that's just the first name that came to mind. You know that guy who plays like every black character, and he has a very he's known for excessively cussing with a very commonly used expletive among the younger generation. Yeah, that guy. I forgot his name, but yeah, Mr. Black, you know who. So yeah, anyways, so I'm freaking that guy, okay? And my eyes are huge, okay? I'm just staring her down. And our teacher finishes the question, I kid you not. I slap that bell so fast. Our teacher looks at me and is like, oh my gosh. He's literally like, oh my gosh. So, no joke, like, you know, my arms are rigid and I just come around and smack it, okay? So, I smack it, and the girl like quivers. She's quivering, like literally, like she's literally horrified right now. Okay, because you just picture this. You go, you're like, oh my gosh, fun activity in class today, you know, and then all of a sudden, boom, a tiger freaking Everett comes out of nowhere and is like, you know what, kid? You're going down, okay? And then at this point, I'm kind of pissed because I lost our team the first point, and that's not a good look. So I smack it, and I just recite the freaking dictionary into my teacher's face. And he's like, you know what? I'll allow it. I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure I gave the right response, but if not, I still at least made a 7th grade cry, okay? So...
yeah.
So now I have to move. So we go around like in a circle again, or like through the line, against like the teams, you know. And it's my turn again, and wow, this girl walks up.
Where is this? Oh my
she looks
god, it's
so
all the way
afraid.
to Fragment.
She walks up, and her
Right,
friends
this
are
is
like,
the worst circle we could have ever
have to
had.
get closer to the table so you can hit the bell. And I look at her. I place my hands on the side of the desk,
Right?
and I say, no matter how close you get to that bell, I will guarantee you will not hit it before me. And she looks so scared.
I'm looking for an energy magnet,
okay, because I'm staring down at her. I'm like, you are not going to hit that bell. And my teacher turns around, because he's writing the score like up on the scoreboard. And he just starts laughing at me.
I'm
like,
right here.
yeah, you know she's not going to win. So I end up getting that point, because it was a pretty easy question. So I'm like, okay, nice. So... Then we have another 7th grader, and my head wasn't really in the game because I was just kind of laughing at myself. And I'm staring at the girl behind her, like next in line, or like it kind of a ways off, I guess. Like she's up against the wall. So I'm just staring at her, like her teammate, and she like looks at me for like 5 seconds, and I just maintain eye contact, and she just goes still, like perfectly still. Like, I'm a freaking basilisk, okay? And all of a sudden, she just snaps around and just faces the wall. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought, okay? So now I'm getting into their heads, yeah? So, at this point, I'm like, okay, I actually really end up losing that point, but that was fine. I go up again.
Get out of there.
And, oh my gosh.
Oh, there's another team.
Cutest little thing walks up to me, okay? And she's like, you know, this tiny little girl. I'm already standing there, so she has to walk to me. Because, again, I can cover the room in, like, you know, 2 steps. I can literally get, like, 15 feet in 2 steps. This little girl has to, like, waddle over to, like, where I'm standing, like, 15 feet away. It takes her, like, 50 steps. And she just, like, looks up at me, and she stares at me, and I stare at her, and I start to lean over, like, to me and get closer to her. I kid you not, she turns around and looks at her friends and is like, do any of you guys want to trade me? I don't want to do him. I'm like, oh, you're doing me. So her entire group just like immediately backs away and she starts like shaking. So I obviously get that point. Again, I don't even remember what the questions were. They're pretty basic stuff, so, you know. And okay, so again, my turn again. And it's the girl who had a mental breakdown at the beginning of class. Okay, and oh my gosh, as soon as I walk up, she starts crying just a little bit, okay? And look, I know I'm laughing at this, but it truly is funny when the goofball, like the class clown, actually gets to intimidate a few people. This is a major dub for me. And again, if you're actually crying, I actually did feel a little bit bad. And so I softened up a little bit, like, you know, I wasn't gonna go full, like, you know, general whip your butt on her, you know. So I just kind of look at her, and yeah, she starts stuttering a lot, and I get the point, so, you know, it was whatever. And then it's my turn again, okay? Again, at this point, it's been like, right now, the score, I think, is like 14-3. So it was okay, you know.
Oh,
and
man.
so, like, our team had 14 and their team had 3. So I walk up.
Yeah, I'm in this game here.
I'm like, so I walk up.
Lobby. Oh, I've got an app that tells me.
7 and 8 traders just won't come up. And they literally push one of their friends up, and our teacher's like, you want to do this? And she just looks at him, and he's like, okay, getting on there.
Yeah, there's,
so he literally, and he was so nice, he literally, like, he held the paper close to her while he was asking the question, and literally showed her what the answer was, and she stares at me for like 2 seconds, and I just look at her, and I just slowly ding the bell, and I'm like, sir, that is an onomatopoeia. And he was like, and he looks
Your
at
mic
Rose, he's
keeps, like, cutting
what the
in and
heck?
out
I was
a lot.
literally trying to help you cheat. And she just like gets the worst look on her face,
You're-
like someone
you're
between like
noisy.
guilt and fear.
Right on it.
And she just like backs away. So it's like, it was so beautiful. Okay, I'm sorry,
Holy
like that was
shit, dude.
truly the peak of my day.
That's
So
purple
yeah.
armor.
Anyways, that was mostly it for the most part. I ended up losing like the last point before we won. So it was okay. It was like against this like 7th grade girl. She just got to the belt fast. Wait, no. Okay, here's the funny thing.
Yeah.
Is our teacher saw that I was intimidating everybody, and again, he thought it was really funny because my teacher is literally the
Yeah, that's a little
definition
better.
of cool. Okay, he literally plays video games, or we literally are gonna play video games together. He
yeah.
plays the same video games as me. He was like, "Yo, hit me up. We should
One's
play
got
sometime."
purple.
Okay,
The
that's
race
how
has
chill he
purple.
is, and he wasn't even weird about it. He wasn't like, "Oh, Tiger, Mr. Student, it would be so cool if we could bond together." But like, he was genuinely chill. I mean, cool. Okay. So this is the last one before we win the game, 5-15 or 15-5. And he's like, okay, you know what? I just want you guys to look at each other and study each other's faces. And just like try to remember something about the other person. And I was like, okay,
Right
easy enough. I
behind you.
scan this girl up and down
Behind you.
while she looks at the
Just
ground. I'm like, okay, yeah, she's gonna lose. She's literally like looking at my belt buckle, okay? Like, she's definitely gonna lose, okay? So, and he's like,
That's
oh,
fine.
and she, like at first she didn't believe him. She thought
Probably
he was
go
just
all the
pranking
way
her,
across,
but I knew he was
to be
serious, so
honest.
I immediately,
way
I
I
still
can
remember,
loot
she had
those
dirty blonde
houses
hair
and
about
stuff.
shoulder
Yeah,
length.
like across
She had
the
leopard
divot
print
here.
glasses
So there's
that
one in
were
the bottom
square,
and
like
there's
oblong
one-
square frames. She also had light teal eyes. She was wearing a white, like hooded jacket or hoodie, that had like a lamb head
Sorry,
on it.
you can-
That
you can
had
go-
that
there's
was,
a
like,
line
all
over to the
furry, and
left.
it had 2 drawstrings. Okay, it was slightly on the left of her shoulder. Okay, like I remember everything about her. And
They need
so
to let
he's-
that
and
stay a
so
little
he
bit
makes
longer.
us close our eyes and turn around, and he's like,
Her-
okay, you
her
guys can
jump-
hit the bell.
yeah, her
and he's
jump
like,
needs
but
to
you
stay
can't
longer.
look. So,
So there's a-
I try to hit the bell,
Go ahead,
and
give me
I
her. That's
smack
fine.
her hand onto the bell. I'm pretty sure she hadn't turned around. And she
Oh,
gets it. She's
shit, I
like,
didn't know it
he
would go
was
that high.
wearing
Holy
a
shit.
beige
crazy.
jacket with black on the shoulders. I'm like, really? And he's
Alright.
like, okay, great. I'm like,
We're
I
back.
literally still
There's
remember
a
everything
lot
about- yeah,
of people with
okay.
kills.
So yeah, that was about it. Of course, our
Yeah.
team won because, you know, we had the funny girl, we had the super smart girl, we had the guy who had no idea what he was doing, which is always a great addition to the team, and then we had me, who was just there to really just screw over the enemy team. Okay, like I was just there to disrupt their thought process, which I did so well. Might I add, I did it so well. The entire opposite team was afraid of me. Okay. And after this, if I remember to, I'm just going to put a picture up on screen of what I was looking like, okay? And about right where the beige chair is, I'm going to put up, that's about where the 7th grader was, so I'm just going to put that up. So, yeah. Yay. Outro. Ha ha. I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah. Like I said at the beginning of the video, hit like and subscribe. I am going to be talking about the rest of my day today, because I had 3 other classes. Okay, let me tell you. Seminary. Let's just say that being an extreme Mormon, really doesn't sit well with the newer generation, especially when some of them have conformed to the newer social standards, as our teacher put it, or whatever. And he's a really cool teacher. He's just very anti-LGBTQ+++++. I classify as an attack helicopter, if anybody was wondering. But yeah, let's just say that was really interesting. And then, yeah, the awkward time in Honors English, where I was the only group member actually doing anything. And I had to explain to the teacher what a mathematic is, which is practically where you just take a video in a video game. So yeah, that's about it. I will talk to all you freaking beasts later.